This is the full process video for my fresh raw goat milk lemon and lavender lace soap. I start with laying an impression mat in the bottom of my mold. I pour that. I use a lighter color, very thin trace to fill in the lace, and I use a cake scraper to wipe that off. I then put 1 pound of soap in the bottom of it. I scrape to make it as flat as I can. I remove that, and as you could see earlier, I took it and stood it on its side and placed some tape across the top so that when I pour like a mad person, which I forgot once, the color like purple doesn't fall in between and keep that lace. I also pushed that down really, really hard, and I actually used some soap dough to make a dam on each end to be really positive that none of my other batter seeps underneath that lace. I use locally sourced fresh raw goat milk that was frozen. Sometimes it's very thick. I soak really cold. So I make sure it's combined very well. I usually stick blend it. It was really thick that day, probably soaping around 69, 70 degrees, maybe 72. And then I combined it with all my melted oils and butters and added my colors, Queen's Purple. I used some grape ape, and I used Brambleberry's Lavender, and the Queen's Purple is Brambleberry as well, and the grape ape is Mad Mica, and it just kicks them up a little bit, and I wanted a difference between the 3 colors, but I wanted them to all be kind of shades of purple or a deep lavender. And of course, I wanted predominantly white. I added titanium dioxide and stick blended that. I really tried to keep the trays as thin as possible, but because I didn't want the colors to kind of morph together. And I poured my white in first. With this one, I always like to have a significant amount of white, and I never make enough white. I don't care what I do. I feel like I never have enough. I wanted to have at least half white, and when I got to the piping, I didn't have as much pure white as I would have liked. So I ended up putting everything in one bag, and it worked out. It worked out well. I just like to sometimes have some significant white. I used some leftover. You see, I poured some of those in really high. I'm knocking it down some. I'm actually turning it around. I'm using my favorite swizzle stick from my daughter Trista, the Wiggly Bee. I had made some separate yellow batter. And as I said, I had some soap dough, yellow soap dough that I turned into little tiny lemons. I used press and seal, and I always, I just like to do it. I put them in different stages, so hopefully at different times a little bit more of one color will come through, or the purple will show around the white, et cetera, et cetera. And I almost wished I flipped that bag around, which I actually believe I intended to do, so the more white would show up at the end rather than get covered up. And I do here what I call a bed of roses. I literally just stack roses. Sometimes I use 2 different tips. A 1M and a 2B, and those are my tiny little lemons, which I actually put them in a little jar with some of Brambleberry's silver sparkle mica, and it made them look like they were covered in sugar. Here I'm pulling away the freezer paper, which is like always a favorite time, just to see what it's going to look like. And I always have my fingers crossed. Remakes are the toughest. And of course I used my Nurture Soaps Mystic Gold. Let's see what we have here. There you go. And I have to keep remaking this. I keep getting requests. I of course have some of my favorites down the road. And there is the whole batch. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. I make these long videos because some people tell me they really like to see the whole process, and it's so hard. Would you rather see me make lots of small videos of it in parts? I'd love to know. Thank you.